It's now gone from rumor to reality. Coach Cal may very well be the next head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
You are Locked On Kentucky, your daily podcast on the Kentucky Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, what's going on, Big Blue Nation? Welcome on into Locked On Kentucky, your daily Kentucky Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Lance Dawe. On today's episode of Locked On Kentucky, you know what we're talking about. Coach Cal in conversations with the Arkansas Razorbacks to become their next head coach. Going to talk about what this means for Kentucky today. Obviously, a lot of you have a lot of strong opinions on this, so I want to tell you up front on this show, whether you're listening to podcast or on YouTube, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. You can also hit me on socials at Locked On UK on Twitter if you want to give me your thoughts on what is going down here. So let's go ahead and get into it. John Calipari, according to multiple reports, Matt Norlander of CBS Sports, Bob Holt of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, so many different places now saying officially Coach Cal and Arkansas are both very much so mutually interested in each other. And Arkansas, I believe, as of tonight, April 7th, 2024, Cal is currently taking a look at offers that Arkansas is throwing his way. This is not clickbait. This is not a joke. This is reality. Coach Cal may very well be leaving Kentucky after losing in the first round of the NCAA tournament to the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. This is insane. If you've been watching the show for quite some time, first of all, appreciate you tuning in. If you have not subscribed already to the YouTube channel, now's going to be a great time to do so. If you're listening on podcast or on YouTube, I would love to have you here to hear your thoughts about what's going on today and obviously for the future of Kentucky basketball. But yesterday's episode, if you tuned into it, we talked about it. Trilly Donovan, Basketball Insider, put out that he had heard that Coach Cal in Arkansas may be a possibility. I reached out to Trilly. I said, hey, can I talk about this? He said, yeah, you can talk about it. Just know I personally don't believe that it's going to happen. And based on everything that I had seen, it didn't look like it was going to happen. But we still put out an episode yesterday talking about, okay, if this does happen, how should we feel? What should be the reaction? And now that it's actually occurring, it is insane to me. Insane to me that we are currently potentially sitting in a situation where Coach Cal, Hall of Fame head coach, been at Kentucky for over a decade plus, could potentially leave Kentucky for another SEC school, especially after the conversations that he and Mitch Barnhart had publicly. They chose to do an interview on a news channel and publicly talk about what they wanted to do moving forward, talk about the fact that they had a relationship. There was no beef. They were both excited about what's going to happen. They just had to go and get back to work. And yet here we are, potentially looking at a world where Coach Cal could be the next head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. According to Matt Norlander of CBS Sports, he said this on Twitter, at Matt Norlander, John Calipari and Arkansas have entered into serious talks about its head coaching position, sources told CBS Sports, and Kentucky has been notified on the talks. Calipari's contract terms mandate he must inform Kentucky if he engages with another school about a job interview. And then Norlander continued, the Tyson family, Arkansas's biggest donor, is prepared to make a major commitment to bringing Cal to Arkansas, sources said. Calipari is very close with the Tyson family and has been for years. This has been well documented. The story is gaining volume because major boosters are optimistic this can happen. 14 minutes ago at the time of this recording, the latest, UK AD Mitch Barnhart tells CBS Sports Calipari has not yet notified him of talking to Arkansas AD Hunter Yurachek about potentially becoming the next Arkansas coach. Other sources reiterated Arkansas's heavy pursuit of Calipari and an increasing belief this could happen. Then he also said, source reiterates Calipari to Arkansas is imminent. He doesn't have a proper agent, and this is a very delicate decision. As was told to me previously, Cal directly approaching Barnhart wouldn't mean it's done. As of 2 minutes ago, Barnhart still hasn't been contacted by Calipari. So we're going to continue to monitor this. We don't know if something's going to happen here while we are here live on air as I'm recording. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen here, as did a lot of the Kentucky beat. And this is kind of what I said on yesterday's show. I was like, man, I don't really know what to believe here. My guess is no, that this is not going to happen. My guess is no, Coach Cal's not going to leave, especially after all of the different things that have happened over these past couple of weeks. It leads me to believe that he wants to be here. He's excited about being here. He wants another season, especially with this recruiting class. And here we are now. It's going to be very, very, very weird if Coach Cal comes back from this and he is still Kentucky's head coach heading into next season. What an insane way to start the offseason. You have gone from a very strong end to the regular season, losing in the first round of the SEC tournament, losing to Oakland in the first round of the NCAA tournament. There were so many different conversations immediately following that game as to whether or not Kentucky would officially be done with Coach Cal. A lot of people said that it should be done. The relationship should be severed. It's time to move on. And here we are now, after he came back and said all the right things, that he wants to be here. Here we are now, and he may not be here. Today, we're not going to talk about coaching candidates. We're not going to talk names. We're not going to talk who Kentucky could go after, because the decision has not been made yet. But what I will say is this. Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, CBS Sports' Matt Norlander, KSR, all of these different, On Three themselves, all these different sources coming out and saying, hey, this is not just interest. This is not just a rumor. There is real smoke here. And then, oh my goodness, hey, this may actually be happening right now. We need to have very serious conversations about the future of Kentucky basketball. So let's pull it back to some of the things that we talked about on yesterday's show. Let's talk a little bit about the positives and negatives. Okay, what happens if Calipari does go to Arkansas? Let's dive into that in just a second. Before I do that, though, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at Game Time. Guys, I know a lot of you here are Cincinnati Reds and Atlanta Braves fans. Let's say you want to go down and check out a Major League Baseball game between one of those two teams. Well, there is one place that you need to go to get your tickets. It is Game Time. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. They've got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and then their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets. The lowest price guarantee, by the way, if you find a ticket in the same section and row for less elsewhere outside of Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. I absolutely loved using Game Time last year whenever I wanted to go to MLB games, college football. I used it quite a bit on the road. Absolutely incredible. Their service, the views from the seat are amazing. The prices are excellent, and it is super, super easy to get some last-minute tickets over at Game Time. You need to take the guesswork out of buying your tickets with Game Time. You can download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Again, terms apply. Create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, continuing along here on Locked On Kentucky, Lance Dawe hanging out here with you. Just an insane thing going on here. Been getting so many messages from people about this. I actually, at the time of this recording, I was actually out, and I ran into a Kentucky fan who mentioned that he'd seen an episode of the show. And he's like, dude, what is going on right now? And I'm like, I have absolutely no idea. According to Jeff Goodman of Goodman Hoops, Kentucky's John Calipari is finalizing a deal to become the coach at Arkansas. A source told Field of 68. Jeff Goodman also says that Coach Cal will have access to an NIL package that will rank among the best in college basketball, excess of $5 million per year. According to Pete Thamel, it is official. John Calipari is finalizing a 5-year deal to become the next head coach at Arkansas. The deal is expected to be completed in the next 24 hours. So it has officially broken here as we are recording. Coach Cal is out. He is officially out at Kentucky. Wow. I cannot believe this. Kentucky 23-10 this past season, lost in the round of 64. Kentucky has not made it to the Sweet 16 since 2018 under Coach Cal. Coach Cal won a national championship here back in 2012, has been coaching here since 2010. It is done. It looks like it has been done. So I guess we will be talking potential candidates here on the show. I cannot believe this right now. I genuinely cannot believe this right now. So Kentucky's looking for a new basketball coach for the first time since 2010. I think the first name that a lot of people are going to turn to, even though I'll just say this off the bat, we're just gonna shoot the bull here for a second, guys. Dan Hurley of UConn is the name I think a lot of people would want. Is that the name Kentucky's going to end up having? There's a very, very, very small chance that happens. Almost non-existent, I would say. I personally would love to have Dan Hurley. I don't know if it's a reality. Scott Drew, Bruce Pearl, Tommy Lloyd, Nate Oats, maybe. I mean, you're going to be looking at an insane list. An insane list of coaches. I am stunned. I do not know what to say. I do not know what to say about this. Coach Cal, over the course of his Kentucky career, did not leave the Wildcats to go to, and Tristan Ferris just tweeted this out, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Los Angeles Lakers, the UCLA Bruins. He did not leave for two NBA franchises that have won NBA titles in the last decade. He did not leave for one of the winningest college basketball programs of all time, and I think he's right up there in terms of national titles. He left for Arkansas. Arkansas's got money. Arkansas can invest. It's gonna be, man, this is gonna be such a weird dynamic. Such a weird dynamic for Kentucky versus Cal and Arkansas next season. So let's talk about the positives and negatives. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at your 2024 recruiting class. Number 2 in the nation. 6 players committed, I believe 3 5-stars. Jaden Quaintance, Karter Knox, Billy Richmond. Boogie Fland, Somto Cyril, Travis Perry. Oh, I'm sorry, Boogie's also a 5-star as well. Awesome. You may never see these guys in a Kentucky uniform. Like it is almost certain that one or more of these guys is going to immediately flip over to the Hawks. I mean, immediately flip over. So talk about positives and negatives. The next coach that Kentucky basketball goes to get needs to be a pretty darn good recruiter, or at the very least, a very, very good developer of talent. Because some of these guys are going to be stepping away. Some of these guys are going to be going elsewhere. If it's not to Arkansas and it's not staying at Kentucky, they may very well be going elsewhere. You got to go get the best coach you can possibly get. Best coach. Best coach you can get. I do not know what to say about this. I am just kind of in shock. Twitter is absolutely melting down right now. I think it's also going to be fascinating to see the conversation between Cal versus Kentucky and the actual like utilization of the resources that both of these programs have. Because like I just said a minute ago, Arkansas's got money. Arkansas's got the ability to invest. Arkansas has the potential to be a very, very good team. We've seen it with Eric Musselman. You guys have been listening to the show. Every time I've talked about Arkansas this past season, what did I say? They are way, way better than their record indicates. Their talent is solid. They may not be cohesive, but this program can be good. And I was shocked that Musselman left. And yet here we are. Let's continue to talk about this, just kind of give our thoughts and opinions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is actually happening. Going to break this down a little bit more here in just a second. Before I do that, I'll tell you guys about our friends over at Amazon Fire TV. It is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick that you can plug into your existing TV that provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live TV. Whether it's opening weekend for baseball or the college basketball tournament, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us here at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. Fire TV channels lets you dive into all of the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on the latest in the world of sports, from March Madness to the NBA and lots more. You can check out Fire TVs on Fire TV and Alexa devices, and if you have not checked it out, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit Amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. That is Amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. All right, wrapping up the Sunday edition of Locked On Kentucky. Lance Dawe hanging out here with you. Holy cow. He's going to be loaded with talent. Coach Cal is. He's going to have a lot of money behind him. He's going to have the ability to get transfers. Arkansas is going to be good. Arkansas is going to be really, really good. Nate Oats is not leaving Alabama. Dan Hurley is not leaving UConn. Jay Wright is not coming out of retirement. Is Tommy Lloyd a possibility? Is Scott Drew a possibility? Is Kelvin Sampson a possibility? Bruce Pearl, are they a possibility? Do you want somebody like Iowa State's TJ Alzelberger? Do you want him? You can't. And Mark Few is probably at the end of his tenure. So is Kelvin Sampson, to be fair. Who's up? Who's up? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. Where are you going to be looking for a head coach? Where are you going to look? According to Matt Norlander, because just came up on the timeline, Coach Cal leaving Kentucky has been on the table going back to February. Sources tell CBS Sports. He privately expressed significant/serious interest in the Ohio State job, but the timing wasn't right, per source. Arkansas coming available was a dream shot out of Lexington. Thamel and Norlander, man, they are on top of it. Cal's biggest points of emphasis on the new job, per source, are the assurance of accepting transfers, ability to bring his freshman class, so there you go, and major NIL promises. So you can say goodbye to these kids. Quaintance, Fland, Cyril, Perry, Knox, Richmond. You can say goodbye to probably all of them. You can say goodbye to, I guess, talks with Liam McNeely. If Kentucky messes up this next hire, I don't know. I do not know where Kentucky's going to go. I don't know where they're going to go. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. This just kind of all fell at our feet here at 11:43 Eastern as I wrap this up. Ladies and gentlemen, Kentucky is officially done with Coach Cal. He has moved on to become the next head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Not a cohesive episode here, but I am just in shock. It's over. It is over. Of course, you should let me know your comment or your thoughts in the comments below. I know a lot of you in the live chat are going to be giving your opinions as well. If you're listening on podcast, subscribe to the show at Locked On UK. We're going to be talking coaches. We're going to be talking the class. We're going to be talking transfers. If Kentucky can even get a look at those guys, it is happening, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening. You can follow the show on Twitter at Locked On UK. You can follow me on Twitter at @LanceDawe_, and follow the show over on Instagram. That is at Kentucky Podcast. Any questions, comments, concerns? Leave those in the YouTube comments below. Hit me on the socials. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Locked On Kentucky. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and God bless.